Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly wild storyline from the 2026 NBA playoffs. I mean, we're talking about the Lakers and the Rockets in a first-round matchup that honestly had it all. It's a classic tale of early dominance, some hidden flaws, and a defensive resurgence that, well, it completely flipped the script. The data here tells an absolutely incredible story, so let's just jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this. The big question we really need to answer is, how in the world does a series that looks like an inevitable open and shut sweep turn into an absolute dogfight? Because if you were watching early on, the Lakers looked virtually unstoppable, right? But now, we've got a team fighting for its actual playoff life. To understand how the tide turned so drastically, we've got to look past the box score and dig into the underlying metrics. Section 1, a commanding Lakers lead. So let's look at Game 1. Even without Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves on the floor, the Lakers still pulled off a 107-98 win. They looked like a total offensive juggernaut, shooting a blistering 61% from the field. That is elite. But if you look a little closer, underneath all that elite shooting was a pretty glaring warning sign. 18 turnovers. 18! So the crucial takeaway here is that even with a red-hot start, ball security was a massive, massive issue for LA from the very first tip-off. But, despite throwing the ball away, the Lakers managed to build a commanding 3-0 series lead. They basically iced it, or so we thought, with a thrilling 112-108 overtime victory in Game 3 over in Houston. LeBron James was phenomenal, logging 45 minutes of action. And that was even with Alperen Şengün putting up a jaw-dropping 33 points and 16 rebounds for the Rockets. LA still took that 3-0 advantage. Honestly, at this point, the series felt completely over. Done deal. Section 2, the Game 4 defensive pivot. But then, we hit Game 4. And here is the number that completely changed the trajectory of the entire series: 23. In playoff basketball, 23 turnovers is, well, it's catastrophic. It's a staggering number. Houston finally made the Lakers pay for that exact same sloppy play we saw glimpses of back in Game 1. The result? A massive 115-96 blowout win for the Rockets to keep their season alive. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how Houston pulled off that Game 4 pivot. Because this wasn't just the Lakers dropping the ball unprovoked, right? This was Houston applying absolute suffocating pressure. Tari Eason became a total menace out there, with 5 steals completely destroying the Lakers' flow. Then you've got Amen Thompson using that defensive chaos to just attack downhill, finishing with 23 points of his own. The Rockets literally turned their defense in a rapid transition offense before the Lakers could even figure out their matchups. Force the error, then run. That was the formula. Section 3, Game 5 turnover trap. So heading back into a hostile environment in Los Angeles for Game 5, you'd think the pressure would crush them, but the Rockets kept this incredibly resilient mindset. Just listen to this quote from Houston guard Reid Sheppard. We watched it and we learned from it. We keep fighting and keep giving ourselves a chance to win. Now, context here. Sheppard himself had committed a really costly turnover late in Game 3 that let the Lakers tie it up and force overtime. But instead of folding, he and the team watched the tape, learned from the mistakes, and brought that exact fighting spirit straight to LA. And wow, did that resilience show up in the defining play of Game 5. The Lakers got Austin Reaves back, he put up 22 points, and LA woke up for a late 11-1 run, trimming Houston's lead to just 3. It was getting tense. But then, with exactly 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, Reid Sheppard fully redeemed his Game 3 mistake. He literally ripped the ball right out of LeBron James's hands and took it down the court for a pivotal dunk. I mean, it was a visceral, real-time representation of the Lakers' atrocious ball security that night. It completely killed LA's momentum, sealing a 99-93 win for the Rockets. Section 4, comparing the key statistics. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the persistent, honestly fatal trend it reveals when you line up these key games. Look at this. Even when the Lakers won Game 3, they still coughed it up 20 times. Then the wheels completely fell off with 23 in Game 4 and another 15 back-breaking turnovers in Game 5. Early on, LA was shooting so efficiently that it kind of masked these mistakes, but the second that elite shooting cooled down, this glaring lack of ball security became their absolute downfall. And just to validate that these were indeed forced errors, the steals data from Game 5 paints a crystal clear picture. The Rockets literally doubled up the Lakers in total steals, 10-5. This impartially proves the narrative here. Houston's defensive pressure directly created this massive turnover disparity. And remember, they did this despite missing Kevin Durant. Houston just relied on a super balanced attack and this incredibly disruptive defense to claw their way back into the series. Section 5. History on the line. To truly appreciate what the Houston Rockets are attempting right now, you really have to understand the historical improbability of it all. Think about this. In the entire history of the NBA, out of 159 teams to start a playoff series down 0-3, only 4 have ever even forced a Game 7. 4. And it gets even crazier. No NBA team has ever successfully completed the 0-3 comeback to actually win the series. 0. What Houston is trying to do here requires an impossibly rare level of grit. Which leaves us with this final burning question to ponder. Will the Los Angeles Lakers finally solve this turnover trap, secure the basketball, and close out the series on the road? Or will the Houston Rockets' suffocating defense conjure up some historical playoff magic and force an improbable Game 7? Because the data shows us exactly where this series is going to be won or lost, right there in the passing lanes and on the fast break. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes glued to that turnover column